Okay, John, should we, for the first try, totally not a redo start because I screwed it up the first time? Should we get this show going
Let's do it.
for the first time? All right, John.
All right.
For the first, no mistakes, totally flawless.
No, yeah, we're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
I'll write it. We'll do it live.
That's right. Oh goodness.
Have
Well,
you
we
seen
are
that?
back.
You've seen that video, yeah?
Oh yeah, the Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah. Man, it's so good. So good.
In fact, we at my job when doing sales demos and stuff remotely, we often say that before a demo when we're like, I don't know, do we have this? Are we ready? And we're like, you know what? We don't have a prep call. If we can't have a prep call, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Just do it live.
We'll do it. I'll write it. We'll do it live. That thing sucks.
Probably at least once a week that gets quoted to me or by me at some point. So
it's so good.
We are back. We missed a week, but it's all good.
We did miss a week, didn't we?
We had a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
That was the weekend. I kind of messed us up. I took my family to the Seahawks game and watched us choke in the second half.
This last weekend didn't look like it was too much better.
It really wasn't. They continued laying the same egg. They started birthing out of their lay an egg birth hole. I don't know where I was going with that.
The good news is
the birthing canal
for this past game, which was the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
They didn't choke in the second half. They just were down the entire game. So that's
true.
It's improvement in some areas, I suppose.
That's right. It's more consistent. And let's be honest.
That's it.
It's really just consistency that I want. And I tell you what, though, I've never spent more money on something in my life to leave so upset. And when we were walking out of that football stadium, dude, it's just, did you ever watch the show Arrested Development?
Sure. Yeah, I loved it.
There was that scene, and it kind of became like a recurring thing on that show. When somebody was really sad, they'd play the Charlie Brown song and they'd walk like this. With like the head down. Dude, that was exactly how like 60,000 people were walking out of Lumen Field. It was just head down, just Charlie Brown. It was so quiet. I've never heard it be so quiet walking out of that place before. It was just like,
did you yell something like, could be worse, we could all live in Pittsburgh?
No, I was even too angry to be like snarky.
Yeah, you're not like, I'm not even gonna have fun. I'm not even having fun now. Okay.
I'm like, gosh, you just dropped like $1,000 coming to this stupid game.
Right.
Parking now. Remember when you and I went to that preseason game?
Well, in fairness, we parked I remember when we went to that game, and I mean, we parked like 2 miles away from the stadium, I felt like, and then walked, right?
Yeah, I was probably like a mile. But like back then, I think we paid, and this was 2006. We paid like $20 to park. Now it was a preseason game.
That sounds right. Yeah.
So I don't know. And so I was, and last time I went to a game with my parents and some family members, it was like $40. And so I was expecting it to be, more just with inflation and
I would have, it's been maybe 2 years since I've been, maybe longer because COVID makes everything feel weird. It's been a couple of years since I've been to a Seahawks game, but I want to say I would have expected between $30 and $40.
$67.50.
Nope.
And kids, we were down there ways.
We're listening to it on the radio on the drive home.
But see, that's where they get you.
This is ridiculous.
Because you already pay like a few $100 a ticket from scalpers.
I was going to say, did you find somebody on the street and say, I want 4 tickets? How'd you?
No.
Okay. I've done that. And it actually worked really, really well.
I did them through Ticketmaster, but I'm pretty sure it was like a reseller through Ticketmaster.
Sure.
And yeah, now what was interesting was there was a fair amount of empty seats in the stadium. So I don't know. My dad said sometimes that like the younger generation, that some of those, I've heard that some people buy tickets to go to the game, but they just sit like in the bar area and watch it and just be in that like atmosphere, which to me is weird. It's like, no,
you're there. So
you've got a responsibility to this team to stand in these seats and scream at the top of your lungs on third down.
That's right.
And so, but
That's the
there was
12th man obligation right there.
yes, like
Yeah.
come on. But I also didn't know, and wishful thinking is that scalpers bought too many tickets, raised the prices too much, and got hosed. And that I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm okay with that.
Sure,
But
sure.
it was funny. There was a couple of times. So when you're on, you know how it is. When you're on defense, you're yelling the whole time. When you're on
Sure.
offense, you're supposed to shut up.
You shut up. Yeah.
Let the man work. Let Russell
That's
do
right.
his thing.
That's right. He's got to think.
And so, like towards the end of the game, when the people behind us were good and liquored up, anytime somebody was trying to get like a "Let's go Seahawks" chant,
Yeah.
and the guys behind us just start, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut your mouth! We're on offense. You sit down and shut up." Which just cracked me up. And so my son, you know, he's just like, "Oh, geez." I was like, "Yeah, they're pretty intense at these games." Like, just
do you remember when we went to a game? This would have been, how long ago was that? 15 years ago?
15 years ago.
It would have been 15 years ago. We went to a Seahawks game, and you were a youth pastor at the time. I was a youth leader in a church, and it's just the two of us out there acting like idiots, you know, as we are wont to do.
And still do.
That's right. And we get to the Seahawks game, and we're trying to think of the most obscene things to yell, and you're like, "Cleat him in the throat," you know, and we're full on like, just how obscene can we be in the things that we're asking for here, and we're screaming it out the entire time.
Yeah.
We're just cracking ourselves up, and then we like fourth quarter things start to filter out, and we look over to our right, and there was a mutual friend
Yes!
from like another church that was like, "Nick, John." It was
Hey,
like,
man.
"Oh, hey,
Corbin,
man,
hi."
yeah, God, be blessed. How are you, golly?"
Face mask him.
Right,
Slam his head into the ground.
Yes, and that just cracked me up. I just thought, remembered that.
Which, like, anybody who knows us should, like, they would expect nothing less from us. Like, the
Yeah.
dichotomy of you and I think the reason why
Yeah.
we've been friends for so long and always hit it off is because, like, I can be equal parts, like, wishing for, like, good things for you and simultaneously be, like, mocking somebody so hard that they're on the verge of tears.
Yes.
Now, some people might be like, yeah, that's called being a phony. But I'm like,
Yeah. No, I genuinely want to see the best in everybody that I know, that I meet, that I come into contact with. And I also simultaneously genuinely find enjoyment in watching somebody cry because I'm making fun of them. Right? Those things, like, we're complex beings, man. It's not black and white.
I'm an onion, darn it. I'm an onion.
You peel the layers back and you find out, okay, he's a little mean, but I'm like a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah.
All right. I genuinely care, and I find enjoyment in your pain.
Mostly joking about the cleating him in the throat.
Right.
I mean, I didn't actually want them to do that. I mean, had it happened, I probably would have booed at the yellow flag that would have come out and been like, "Come on."
Depends on who got cleated.
Yeah. I mean, but I want him to get stitched up and go home to his family, John.
That's right. That's right. So,
goodness.
How was your week, man?
It was good, man. I had this moment recently, and where I realized, like, oh, okay, like, my kids they were little, and then, like, they kind of hit that, like, middle school age, and it was like, oh, they're getting older and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, like, it's like everything has shifted into a whole new arena now that my son's in high school.
Oh, man. And dude, it's been so long since we've hung out, like, in person, but I've seen photos of him, and I mean, he's a man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's just becoming a young adult now, and it's crazy.
Yeah. And I think that transition seems more abrupt because COVID, like, kind of just, you know, just kind of ruined
everybody for a while.
Yeah. And so it was like, oh, okay. So now he's in high school. He's got a girlfriend. They're super cute together. Like, they're adorable. You know, she comes over. She's always like, when we give her a ride home or anything, she's always just, "Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Higgins, for letting me come over. Thank you." You know, all those, like, thank you for the ride. They're so polite and so fun. But I realized, like, oh man, milestone. because her parents wanted to meet us.
Okay.
And so they started dating at the end of last school year.
Okay.
But her family is from Mexico, and so like in the summertime they go. I think mom and dad. I can't remember if dad stays here and works or if the whole family goes. But
Okay.
they're gone for like the whole summer.
Wow.
So their whole relationship was basically like over text and FaceTime
While she
during
was
the
gone the
summer.
entire summer. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when he was like, it's our 3-month anniversary, I was like, but that's not really that impressive.
Yeah.
She was like in a different country for most
Right.
of that.
Right.
But
What's impressive is you stayed together over a text relationship,
sure.
So
Yeah.
there you go. That's something to be
And
proud of.
yeah, and you didn't meet by swiping right or left. Like, so
Right.
that was, you
Right.
know, uh,
Dude,
so it
Ashley
was,
leaves for 3 months, and I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
you're like, something about zip codes, babe. You know the rules. I don't know.
It's a joke, by the way, but my God, I almost feel bad just saying that, but like, huh? You've been no long distance trips for you, Ashley.
Because it's your
Oh,
dog.
that's
Get it?
right.
Because it's your
Yeah.
dog. Uh, dude, somebody quoted that line in a meeting the other day. It wasn't a customer facing meeting. It was just an
Okay.
internal. It said something, and somebody just goes, "Because it's your dog." And dude, I lost it, and I think I was the only one that got it, got that reference from Road Trip.
Right. Right.
And I was just dying. Anyway, so family, they wanted to meet us, so they came over, and I didn't know what to expect. So like, first of all, we didn't know like I
Mm.
didn't. There's a little bit of a language barrier for one.
Okay.
Dad's English is pretty good, fluent. But I was told that mom not quite fluent.
Okay.
And it ended up being fine. Like she's
Yeah.
conversational, all those kinds of things. But so we just didn't know what to expect, right?
Right.
Like, okay. And so didn't know though, like, are they coming over are they opposed to these kids dating? Is that what they're coming over to tell us? Are we being interrogated? Like, you know, what kind of rules do you have in your house? We just didn't know what to expect. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never done one of these. Like, I've done plenty of job interviews. I'm confident in that situation.
Sure.
Like, do you want to ask me and name a time when you had to discipline your child and how did you do it? Like,
Yeah.
ask
Yeah.
me a job interview
was
kind
that?
of parent question.
Right. Be 5 complex problems that you solved and
Yeah.
the steps you took to get there. Go.
What would you say your biggest weakness as a parent is?
I care too much.
I care.
Okay.
I guess my
It's
biggest
that I'm
weakness,
too good.
it's not just have too many strengths.
That's
That's probably my biggest weakness.
That's
I just
right.
have all these strengths.
That's right. I'm just good
And,
at everything.
and so it was just funny because like, so Tamara didn't know what to do, and she's like, I should probably make some. So she got like some pastries and had like a nice little spread, and like, would you
I
like
mean,
some tea?
I don't okay, so not to interrupt, but I struggle with that because I get you there's an extra layer here of you're meeting your son's girlfriend's parents.
Sure.
And that's got to be a little awkward. But if I had to name 2 people that I feel like could sit down and just converse and get to know anybody, it would be you and Tamara. Like you guys, I
Oh,
wouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't imagine you guys would be like, oh God, what do we do? Like, no, you just sit down, invite them over, have some food, and get to know them. Like
yeah.
I feel like you guys would absolutely crush that.
Well, it went really well.
Good,
So,
good.
we confirmed your
That's right.
expectations there.
Perfect, perfect.
But it was just funny because like I didn't really know what they were wanting, like where they wanted to go. I also didn't want to be like too chatty
Mm,
if and talk too fast. So I was trying to be aware of like, I talk fast as it is. If
sure,
there's some language barrier, then you try to slow down a little
that
bit.
makes sense. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I'm trying to like be aware, just be courteous of all
yeah.
those,
Mhm.
be considerate. I'm sure I'll be called a racist for even
No,
like saying that
that's
probably.
very thoughtful of you, I think.
Thank you, John.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah,
so too. I'll
right.
immediately be like fired from my job and canceled, I'm sure.
Yes.
Um, I mean, still that it's much like
I mean
mayors.
I mean, speaking as a middle-aged cis white male,
Sure.
I just want you to know that I support you,
Oh,
right?
perfect. Perfect.
I feel like I have a lot of pull
Yeah.
in society today, just kind of the
Yeah. Yeah.
cultural,
Yeah.
influencer, if you will.
And the bald
I
head helps.
Yeah, I got your back, man.
Cool. Thank
Absolutely.
you. I appreciate
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
So no, so trying to be, trying to be considerate if there's
Mhm.
language issues, and trying to not talk too fast, talk too much, or whatever. And so I was trying to like lead like, so how's Judah when he's at your house? Is he respectful? Because I was like, okay, if are you wanting to talk like rules, when our kids are
Sure.
at each other's house? Are you
Yeah.
wanting to say like your kid better not impregnate my daughter? Like, where are you wanting to go? You want to have your moment?
Right.
You want to threaten the child? Like, hey, I'm in
What's gonna
too.
happen?
Let's do
Right.
this. We'll gang up on him. He could use it.
Or are we
Uh,
just hanging out and getting to know each other?
and it turned out we were just hanging out and getting to know each other. So I was
Nice,
like,
nice.
okay. So then they,
That's good.
they stayed maybe 20 minutes. And then it was
Oh,
just kind of a,
that
yeah,
was it?
that was
Okay.
it. We were like, okay, what can we talk about? What can we? And so what was interesting was Tamara had an older sister and older brother as students in the
Okay.
past teaching. So there was kind of that common ground.
Yep, yep.
Um, but it was just funny because like when it was all said and done, we're just like, okay, we just had our first like meet the other person's
I
parents kind of
I
thing.
I
And
gotta
it
say
was weird, but it was like in a fun kind of like new parenting territory kind of way.
I gotta say that's what surprises me now is that, it was over in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I just said this. We had a company meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I was doing most of the speaking, surprisingly. And so I was like ready to go and had my bullet points of what I wanted to cover for everybody. And it was like the day before the meeting. One of the members of the executive team was like, "Hey, we need to keep this to about 30 minutes." And it was like, I'm talking, right? Like there's if you want a meeting to be 30 minutes or less, you should not have me be the one speaking. That's just fact.
That's
And
that's where
eh,
you're veering off course right
that's
there.
right. That's right. That's right. We've already started off on the wrong foot. And so that's kind of what I thought when you're like, man, it was 20 minutes and they were out. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Did you just talk the whole time? But
It was, yeah,
all
and
right.
it was funny because it was like mostly just small talk.
Okay.
It was like, all right. And I was like, you called this meeting, man. What do you got? What do you want to
How,
hit me with?
how do you feel about small talk?
I hate it.
Okay.
I've
Hate it.
never
I'm
like,
I'm the same. Can't
so
stand it.
most people, and I don't know if you get this too, most people confuse me for an extrovert because I can be rambunctious, because I can be
Sure.
entertaining, I can be
Yeah,
engaging,
yeah.
I
Yep.
can do that. But that's a switch that I flip on.
That's
And
right.
then
And
I
it drains
go,
you.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So by the end of a customer meeting, anything like
Yep.
that,
Yep.
I'm completely wiped. So like I people are like, "Oh, you're probably just fine in all social settings." I hate
Mm,
small talk. I hate mingling. Like
mhm,
anytime at
mhm,
church when it's like the
mhm.
oh, just 5 minutes and shake the hand of somebody next to you. I'm just like, I want to
Uh,
sit down as quick as I can, hide. No.
right.
I hate that stuff
Yeah.
because I don't know why. I'd rather be up in front of a large crowd of people
Mhm.
or in the back of the room behind a large crowd of people just
Sure.
observing and people watching.
Yep.
I do not want to be in the middle.
Yeah, I
I
don't wanna
hate
be
that.
mixed into that.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know.
Mm.
Always like social anxiety.
It
And
feels,
then,
it feels disingenuine to me, and I'm just not interested in, like, investing energy in that because I feel like you well, and the fact is people who, uh, confuse you for an extrovert are people typically that don't understand what introvert and extrovert means, right? And that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not about your capabilities, but it's about how you expend and recharge energy.
Right. It's
Um,
not about loud or quiet.
that's right. That's right. And so it's like, hey, we can do these things. You give me a microphone, put me in front of people, and I'm going to make it look like I didn't even have to stress about it all night. It's going to seem really natural. But I'm going to be exhausted when I'm done,
Yeah.
and I'm going to like want to be asocial and shut off everybody. But the whole thing around small talk, man, is to me, it feels so disingenuine. Like sitting around and like, oh, how's the weather? And where are you from? Oh, yeah, okay. It's why not like get into topics that actually matter. If I'm going to invest energy, I want to invest energy in getting to know somebody. And if you don't have the time for it in the 5 minutes of shaking hands, or the mingling, then I just feel like it's a waste of energy to invest in something that just isn't. It's not going to get us anywhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I my so like doing customer calls and all those kinds of things, my
Mhm.
least favorite part is like if you join the meeting too soon, before everybody's in there.
Yes. I gotta
And
tell
so,
you I gotta tell you, it's one of my favorite things about, when I became a manager of employees is that now I kid you not, I don't think I've ever told anybody this. Now I can show up 3 to 5 minutes late and it's okay. And because when I show up, the meeting starts, right?
sure.
It's like you guys show up, you do your small talk, whatever. I'm going to be, oh, okay, it's 3 minutes after I'm here. How's everybody doing? Let's get right into it. And I don't have to do the whole like small talk. So, dude, I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you 100%.
Well, and you guys use Microsoft Teams, right?
We do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody starts the meeting, like whoever that first
It,
person is that
it
starts,
shows.
you get the
Yep. The little
notification.
ding, so
Yeah.
and so started the meeting.
Yes. And so I'll always look, and if it's one of the other people at my company, then I'll join.
Sure.
If it's unknown, that means it's the customer side.
Yep.
And since I'm not the sales rep, so I just play a part. I'm there to assist.
Sure.
It's not my meeting. I didn't call it. So I don't feel I'm not obligated to go and like entertain this customer. So I always,
Right.
if I see that it's like 2 minutes before, I'll be like, no, I am waiting until, because I know if I wait a minute, the other people will be in there.
I am
And
very
then,
punctual. That's right.
yes, I do. I'm like, I hate, because I've gone in before and they'll always, the comment is, hey, cool guitars. I'm like, yeah, thank you. And they're like, so do you play?
Nope.
Nope.
It's green screen. They're not even real. I just
Dude.
thought it makes me look edgy.
And I've been asked that too. Like, so is that a real backdrop? And I'm
Dude,
just
that's
like,
right.
I'm so over the fake conversation all the time. So do you play or do you just collect? And I'm like, what kind of douchebag would just collect a bunch of guitars? But they must be out there, right?
Yeah, they are. They are, you know.
Although it has
Uh,
worked in my favor to get some instant rapport when somebody's like, my dad used to play. Oh, I miss sitting and listening to him to play. That's
mm,
so cool. I'm like,
right.
okay, cool. So I don't know. But yeah, no, they're not
All right.
just for show people.
That's right. That's right. Talking to a real shredder over there.
That's right. Which I said, now I make the same. I hate it when I cringe when I do this too. I make the same joke like every time now. Hey, everyone's got to have hobbies, John. I just like my hobbies to be loud.
That's perfect.
I just honestly,
Because you're extroverted, obviously.
I hate myself a little bit more right now.
Every time that joke comes out, a piece of me just crumbles away.
Just poof, just off it goes. What's been
Oh,
going on with you?
oh, so much. I mean, I had something happen this week that I actually wanted to talk about today, and I thought it might be a good opportunity. We dedicate time in the podcast to go through the "Am I the asshole?" segments.
Yeah.
And I thought it might be appropriate because I felt like I ran into a real life scenario where I was questioning if I am the asshole of this scenario. And so I thought, I think we probably know what the answer is already, right?
I'm just okay. I'm gonna get my wager
My,
in. Yes.
yes. Uh, so so yeah, I just want to tell you about it. All right. So this last week, for those that may not know, Liam has a genetic disorder, and it requires him to get regular blood draws. Okay, so we can check his levels and adjust medication however we need. It's all manageable. It's all great, but something we got to do. So he was a little nervous going in to get his blood draw that morning, and I told him, well, okay, when you're done, I'll be with you the whole time. I sit with him when he does it, and then when we're done, when you do a good job, we'll go get breakfast together. And he was super stoked about that. So we got up early, we went and did the blood draw, and then we went over to a little breakfast place, a little restaurant, one of those like little cafes or whatever, like almost like a Sherry's or
Oh,
Denny's or
sure.
something like that, but
Yeah.
a local version of that. So imagine that. Uh, we go there.
In Longview, that would be omelets and more.
Okay, yeah. Or Stuffy's is a great place in Longview, right? I've been to
Oh, sure.
Stuffy's before,
Yeah.
so similar to that, like a
Yeah.
Stuffy's. Um, so we get there, and Liam he's really excited. He's getting to that age. He's almost 7, where he likes ordering himself, and he's starting to learn how to read. He's actually getting pretty good. And so he likes to look at the menu and figure out what he wants. Okay. So I'm working with him on the menu, figure out what he wants. He says he wants the French toast. I tried to get him to make a joke. Let me throw this out. This is a complete one-off, right? Is this joke inappropriate or not? I like.
Wait,
I like.
this is what you wanted your kid your.
Yeah, this isn't the "Am I the asshole" part. I already know I'm an asshole for this, but
You had your son saying this though, right?
he didn't. No, I didn't have him say it this time, but it is something that I'm working with him on to see if I can get him to. So gosh, I got two stories now merging like simultaneously onto the highway. I'm going to branch off and go to a separate one. We'll revisit the "Am I the asshole" in a minute.
Okay, so get in the carpool lane, and then
we're in the carpool lane. That's right.
Okay.
Liam, when he was 4 going on 5, he used to make up the most nonsensical things that he would try to tell you as like a joke, and they weren't funny, right? As most like dumb kids, you know what I mean, are just going to be like, oh, what's the difference between and it just doesn't make sense. And it's like, so after enough of those where I wasn't laughing and I could see it was upsetting him, I sat him down and was like, hey, what are you trying to do? And he said, well, I'm trying to tell a joke. And I was like, well, why? He said, because I like making people laugh. Okay, then I'm going to teach you jokes that actually make people laugh, right? And
hit him in the throat.
Well, and what I found was that adult-ish humor jokes coming from a 5-year-old is hilarious. Is absolute, dude. So at 5, and I would drill him with these until he had it perfect. And the joke that got the best response for him to any of his audience was, what's the difference between a porcupine and a BMW?
I don't know. What?
The porcupine has the pricks on the outside. And when you hear a 5-year-old say this joke, it's next level. It's next level. Okay. So so he was wanting help learning how to order his breakfast. And this happened months ago. So it was something I'd been kind of toying around. Do I tell him this? And he was like, so how do I answer when they ask how I want my eggs? And I was like, you want your eggs over medium? And he said, okay, over medium. And he's like trying to remember. And he says, what about when they ask me how I like my toast? And I thought that was a funny way to ask the question. And so I said, you tell them, I like my toast like I like my kissing, French. Because he likes French toast. And so I just thought, okay, that might be a little too inappropriate for a 5-year-old, right? But anyways, sorry, I digress.
Well, which I would love to hear like listener response to. What do they think would be worse, the French kissing joke or the pricks joke?
Or the pricks. So okay, funny story about that. Well, there's two. Here's one. I don't even know. We could put a warning or something on the podcast if we need to. I don't think this is bad. The other joke that he has in his repertoire that gets a lot of laughs is, what did one saggy booby say to the other saggy booby?
What's that?
If we don't get support soon, people will think we're nuts. So now that you've heard his two golden jokes, right? I mean, these kill, these slay. Dude, every time
this feels like a TikTok channel.
That's
like
right.
This,
I know,
this
right?
feels like something.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
I
you
thought
could
about
legit
that. Like I
do these on TikTok.
I feel like we missed the opportunity because he's getting a little older. And so it's like it's funnier the younger you are. But I had
put a little makeup on him, right? We'll make him look younger. Shave him.
So probably a year ago now, we went to church, and he was in kids' church, and service was over. We picked him up, him and his sister started driving home. Normal conversation. How was kids' church today, bud? It was okay. I was like, well, you don't sound too happy. What's going on? Well, we just took turns telling jokes. And I was like, oh God. And I was like, and how'd that go? Well, I told my jokes and none of the kids laughed and only some of the adults laughed. I was dying. I said, Liam, the adults that laughed are the ones we would want to hang out with. So don't worry. Don't worry about the other ones.
I'll keep us off track here for a
Okay,
second.
sorry. Yeah.
Off track again. When my daughter this was when we were in Alaska. So I don't know, this was like almost 10 years ago. So she was
Yep.
probably like maybe 3 years old, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So the whole Santa Claus thing, right? Like
Mm,
we were like, we just decided we were going to tell our kids the truth about Santa Claus,
mhm.
that there was a Catholic priest named Saint Nicholas. He was a very kind and generous man. He did a lot of good for people. Like, he loved Jesus and all of these things. And he lived a long time ago. That's what we told our kids. And that, like, in the spirit of Christmas, we like to, we like to pretend that this man, Saint Nick, still comes and gives
Mm,
people presents and all of that, because
sure.
that's, generosity and the birth of Jesus, and that generosity, giving your life for others. That's really that's the real true spirit of Christmas. So Santa Claus embodies the true meaning of Christmas, in that giving and
Sure.
compassion and all of that. That was the approach we took, right?
Okay.
So people could have all kinds of different opinions on that. We made a call. That's the direction
Sure.
we went.
Yeah.
Of that, so, okay, keep in mind, we said, so he lived a long time ago, like
Yeah.
long time ago. Was it like 380 or something? That's what we told our kids. And then one day after church, my daughter's Sunday school teacher comes up and is like, "Hey, so little issue today. Your daughter was going around telling all the other kids that Santa's dead." And I'm like, and I'm cracking up, right? And they're
Well,
kind of
he
like,
is.
yeah. I was like, well,
What's the
she's
issue?
not wrong. Like,
I'm still not tracking here, lady.
she's going around, but it wasn't. And I said, so let me explain here some context. We told our kids about
Yeah.
Saint Nicholas, who lived a long time ago. That's what we told them. And
Right.
apparently all my daughter took from that is, and the way she was going around saying it to kids was, Santa's dead, like in a really low, like, Santa's dead. Did you know Santa's dead? Santa's dead,
You just got kids just bawling. One
like,
kid jumps out a window. It's just anarchy, chaos.
And then they thought it was funny because I was like, yeah, we told, this is what we told her. And all she took from that was Santa's dead. They're like, gosh, kids will just say
Yeah.
the funniest thing. So yeah,
Oh,
my
it's too good.
melancholy,
That's too good.
emo little 4-year-old daughter at the time
Right.
was going around telling kids that Santa's dead. So yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So back on track.
Yeah.
We're at the restaurant. Liam is picking out what he wants to have for breakfast after his blood draw, and he wants the French toast breakfast, and it shows that it comes with a piece of bacon or a sausage link, okay, and an egg. So it's French toast, an egg, piece of bacon, or sausage link, and so he figures out what he wants. I already know what I want because I order the same thing, and that's what we're going to get into when I get into this. Well, the waitress shows up and she brings us, water and gives me coffee, and she says, "Do you fellas know what you're having already?" And I said, "Yeah, we do. Go ahead, Liam." And he, really politely says he'll have the French toast breakfast, please. And she says, "Do you want bacon or sausage with that?" And he says, "Both, please." And I was like, "Oh, look at you, going big or go home, man. Mix it up." It's one piece of bacon and one sausage, right?
Right.
Like, okay, look at you, man. And she gets the most concerned, like confused look on her face, and she's like looking at her notepad in her hand, and she pen to her mouth. She says, "Dad, you may want to look at that. I think it only comes with one." And I was like, "I'm sure you can figure out how to put another one on there and charge me for it."
Right.
Like, it's not complicated. The kid
Yeah.
wants a piece of bacon and a piece of sausage. Like, I think we can figure it out back there.
Yeah.
But she doesn't say anything. She just, kind of puts her notes down, and I feel like she's irritated about it. Maybe
Like,
maybe the
they
problem is
literally, every breakfast house has on the menu a side of bacon, a
that's
side of
right.
sauce. Like, charge me.
Yeah, I don't care.
You
Like,
can give me three and charge me for all three.
yep.
It's meat. It's going to
It's
get eaten.
meat. It's just a piece of meat that I'm sure I'm overpaying for anyways.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. But it seems to have struck a chord and thrown her through a loop, which was surprising. Then she says she finishes writing and she says, "Okay, well, what are you having?" I'm not even looking at the menu. I don't ever look at a menu when I go to a breakfast place because
Oh
I
my
always get the
gosh.
same thing. I'm looking right at her, and it's like, I will have sausage links, hash browns, wheat toast, please. And I kid you not, Nick, this is where I'm starting to think I'm the asshole. It happens at every single restaurant that I order breakfast from. I mean, I could mouth the words back to them as they're saying it. It happens every single time where I look at them, no menu, I say, "I would like sausage links, hash browns, wheat toast, please." And they look back at me and say, "How would you like your eggs?" Every time. "How do you want your eggs?" I don't. I don't. The, when I said hash browns, sausage links, and wheat toast, I don't feel like anywhere in
You were
those
done.
three
You were done
items.
at that point.
That's it. That was a period at the end of the wheat toast,
Full
right?
stop.
That was a full stop. I don't feel like I said eggs at any point in that. And it's every time. "How do you like your eggs?" I don't. I would like you to take them and throw them against the wall. I don't care. I didn't ask for eggs. I don't want eggs. This is what I would like: sausage, hash browns, toast. Maybe every now and then, if I really want to have fun with a waitress, I might order a side of fruit. Get
Oh,
out of here, dude. That I want sausage links, hash browns, a bowl of fruit, and wheat toast. Just head explodes. Head absolutely explodes. And this whole like, well, like, and I'm making up names now, but it's like, the Sunshine Delight comes with the I don't care. I don't care what it's called. I don't care what you named it. I don't care what kind of value you think it's bringing me. I'm telling you literally the things that I want, and I'm asking that you go get those things and charge me however you feel you need to charge me for them. Right? Am I an,
my
am I an asshole for that?
my favorite part of this is when you prefaced it with, "And I'm starting to think I might be an asshole." I like that it's this scenario that's finally getting you to consider. Of all things,
No,
it's the
dude,
eggs. It's not even the cleat 'em in the throat story that you and I were
not
like,
not breaking
it's
not breaking eye
it's
contact.
not us, like, it's not coming in 3 to 5 minutes into a meeting to avoid talking to people. It's not any, and I'm just picking stuff we've talked about
We
just
just
in the
talked
last
about in the last
40 minutes,
that's
right?
right. That's right.
I
That's
could
right.
I could tell personal stories from,
No.
like, it's John is pondering his being
It's not
because of eggs.
it's
It's
not
like
that you took your mother-in-law's handicap parking pass and parked in a handicap spot at a grocery store. It's not that. Um,
that was fun, just because we could.
that um, for real, man, dude, I'm sitting there not breaking eye contact, and it's like sausage, hash browns, wheat toast, please. And it's how do you want your eggs? I don't,
Yeah.
I don't want those. And you would think that like I just completely ruined her entire day. She had a visible reaction on her face of like I don't what am I supposed to do with this? You're supposed to write down sausage, hash browns, and and wheat toast and eggs and wheat toast, and please go get those things.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I don't know.
So
It's every time though.
I think you should start having some fun with this and experimenting.
Okay.
When they ask, "How do you want your eggs?" say, "No, thank you. I don't eat eggs. I'm a vegan." And just see if they put two and two together of the sausage.
Oh, okay. I'm doing it. I'm doing it 100%.
The
That's a
sausage,
deal.
hash
I
browns,
don't eat eggs. I'm a vegan.
wheat toast. I don't eat eggs. Okay. I don't eat meat. I
Yeah.
don't
Since I'm
I
not
don't
having since I'm not
I don't
having
eat
eggs though,
animal byproducts.
can you do extra sausage links?
Yeah.
That would be great. Hash browns, extra sausage, wheat toast, no eggs. I'm a vegan.
I'm a vegan. Okay. And just see, because first of all, half the people out there aren't going to get it. Because when I was eating vegan for 2.5 years,
Sure.
I learned that the average like person who works in a restaurant, or just the average person in general, but
Yeah.
waiters and waitresses weren't exempt from this. the majority of them have no idea what vegan actually is, like compared to vegetarian.
Sure, that makes sense.
Because if you were vegetarian, like cheese, dairy, like there's all
Mhm.
kinds of stuff like that. Like
That you
even
can
some,
have.
yeah, some will even
Mm.
eat eggs because it's
Sure.
not meat. It's
Yep.
not meat yet,
Yep.
right?
Right.
And so I
And
say
in
you just
fairness it's not on them to know, right?
right,
It's on you if that's what you care about.
sure.
You educate other people when you're ordering.
Uh
I'm doing it.
yeah,
Hands
I think
down.
for sure, just no thanks, I'm vegan. And they'll be like, I thought I understood. I must not. And then they'll doubt, they'll go home later, John, and they'll be like,
They're Google searching, "What is a vegan?"
what is a vegan? And they're gonna be like, oh, that son of a and his stupid kid with the extra sausage. He said he
Oh,
likes his toast like he likes his kissing.
it's French.
Ah!
Okay,
So I
okay,
will
so it's
say, okay,
official.
so
I am.
verdict. Well, I would say like it's not that your request isn't unreasonable. So
Okay.
I don't think that's what makes you a bit of an asshole, John. I think it's the fact that you are like appalled at them
It's
assuming at a breakfast house where 99% of the people get eggs for them assuming you meant to order some eggs too. And I think it's that
I
where in which the true essence of asshole begins
I
to like
I have to
stem
remind
forth.
myself, and I'm not perfect, okay? Not a perfect person. Um, that it's often the first, even though it's the thousandth time I've had this conversation, it's likely the first time I've had it with this particular server.
Sure.
But it is so aggravating, and if anything, because I'm aggravated, I can tell that if I'm an asshole, and I am, it's because of my response when they're not listening to what,
Yeah.
like, I want these things. How do you want your eggs? I don't. And then the best ones are the ones that try to explain to me, well, here, let me put the menu in front of you. And if you look at this, you could order this and you could, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't care about any of that. I don't care
Yeah.
about it. I don't care. However, how, like, I feel like my part of the transaction for now is done. I
Yeah.
want these things. You help, like, get them however you feel you need to do that for my
Sure.
bill, and then I will pay for that. Like, that's it. That's all we got to do here. I don't
I
need
like
to.
that. I like that you're totally okay with even if they rang it up as all sides, in which you
Yes,
would be
don't care.
overpaying for
Don't
all of
care.
those things.
Nope.
Uh,
And
you would
listen,
be fine
listen.
with that.
It's not only that. I'm also I'm a really, really, and this sounds super arrogant, and maybe, well, I am. I'm a really good tipper.
Sure.
100%. 30% is, you'll see that all day long from me. If somebody's friendly and just, it, dude, if somebody actually was like, I say sausage, hash browns and toast, and they say, "Great, you got it," and walked away, I'm 50%. I mean, I'm looking at how can I really tip this person well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, it's just one of those things where
What is it that actually annoys you about this? Is it that they assume that like most other individuals, you're going to be ordering eggs with your breakfast, or is it the fact that you've apparently yet to find a place that has the actual meal you want on the menu?
as a sales manager, um
Oh
I
boy.
no, no, for real. This is, I think, if we're going to talk about getting to the root of it, this is where it bothers me. I think that in the service industry, and it's not restaurants, it's all things, right? You might run into this with your product and company, and seeing how different sales reps interact. Okay, um, we get into a standpoint, or a box at times where we listen just enough to feel like we have a good enough understanding, and then we start selling to that,
Sure.
right? And we don't actually listen to what the customer is asking for. And so the biggest problem is that you're not listening to me, right? Like, I came in here knowing exactly what I want and why I'm here, and I'm making this really, really easy for you, and you're not listening to me. That's the problem. That's, dude,
I
that's what gets me
I
every time. And it's the well, if you look at the menu and you know, like, I don't want to learn. I might not ever come back. I don't know, but
I love
I'm not here to
I love
learn
that
your systems.
this whole thing could be like avoided if you said, I'd like sausage, hash browns, wheat toast, no eggs. If you just added 2 words,
Yeah.
literally 2 syllables to
Yep.
that order, no eggs.
Mm-mm.
It
Won't
could
do
be
it.
solved. See, and that's
Won't
why
do
you're
it.
the a-hole. That's why you're the a-hole.
Won't do it. No way.
So I have a similar experience when I'm ordering coffee.
Okay.
Tamara and I, we order coffee.
Black coffee.
Black coffee. I'd like,
Yep.
what can you get? Iced
Large
Americano,
coffee.
please. And then a lot of times they'll ask, do you want cream? No.
Yep.
And I get the same thing, right? Did I say with room for cream? Did I say,
Nope.
do I want cream and 2 sugars? Did I? No, I didn't say any of that. I like coffee flavored coffee,
That's
right? Roast the beans well, and then let the essence come through the coffee drink.
Yes.
But to simplify, because I don't like the follow-up and I got tired of making no, I like my coffee flavored coffee, please. It's kind of like the guitar joke. I'm over it. So now I'll just say, I'll take a iced grande Americano or grande Americano, no room, black.
Mm.
I added 3 words and now I don't have to have an annoying exchange afterwards. I feel like adding no eggs would bring
problem here.
so much inner peace to you.
It wouldn't. It would add. It would add turmoil because because every time I have to say no eggs, I'm immediately thinking how incompetent you are. And I don't mean you, Nick. I mean, the server that I'm speaking to. I have to say this because I already know you're not going to listen to what I'm ordering.
Oh man.
So it's less peace.
It's those 2 syllables would cost me so much more in emotional toll.
That's right. Emotional damages that I'm not going to see a return on. This is crazy. It's crazy.
I like how you're bagging on like the one job that's like the people who are working at restaurants right now are getting treated like crap because like they can't get enough workers to go work at the restaurants.
Hey,
and so some of them, I've seen people like posting pictures of their waiter like wearing shirts that say like, please, like, hey, please don't get upset at me. I'm the one who actually showed up, like, or something along those lines. Like, we are short staffed. I like that you're just going right at them.
Well, sure. I mean, let's be clear. It's nothing but pleases and thank yous. I'm very respectful to anybody who's ever served in that capacity. I understand how difficult their job is. And even this person who I was completely annoyed by still gets over 20%, right? Probably the low 20s because of that. Like because I'm now judging her based on that initial interaction. But it was fine. Like I'm sure she's had much worse. It's so aggravating because it really doesn't matter. Go to any restaurant and just say exactly what you order or what you want. Don't read the ingredients of everything, right? I'm not a child. I know what I want. I'm here and I know what kind of food that I am hungry for right now. I'm just going to tell you what that food is and see what happens. I guarantee 10 times out of 10, they're going to ask about something that you did not ask for. And I don't know, maybe that's how they're trained, but
that's how I feel with the toast. I don't want the toast. You bring me the toast, I'm going to eat the toast because it's there.
Yeah.
And I paid for it and I'm too frugal to not eat it, but I don't want the toast.
Right.
And then they bring me 4 little pieces of toast, right? And I'm like, I don't want this.
They can't handle it, dude. And that's the part I don't get. How do you want your toast? Or what kind of toast do you like? I don't like toast. Well, it's included, so we're gonna bring it. No, don't. I don't care. Throw it like a frisbee out the back door and bring me the food that I'm asking for.
I don't want the extra plate. We all end up with a plate of toast that we're not eating.
That's right.
Now there's plates all over.
Yes. Okay. Oh, speaking of plates being all over, I don't even think if you meant to do this. So that's a segue. I was having this type of a discussion with a coworker, and he asked, listener of the podcast, and he asked for us to answer a couple of questions on the podcast relating to restaurant dining. Okay.
Okay.
So the first one, I will actually say, which is about plates, because you just mentioned that. When you leave a sit down dining experience at a restaurant, do you stack your plates and silverware before you leave? Yes or no?
If the plate is empty, like if you ate everything on it, I'll stack them up. If there's like food still on it, like when my kids wouldn't finish
Yeah.
their well, actually
Still
normally
happens.
I would put it in again the frugal thing. I'm taking it with me. I paid for this.
Really?
Someone's eating this at some point. So yeah, I would if
Okay.
after the plates have all been emptied, I would stack them up
Okay. Okay.
because they're gonna stack them to carry them back there anyways.
This is so this is what I found, and he brought this up. I'm an avid stacker. Avid. Like I feel like it is an obligation, again, because I understand how difficult servers jobs can be, to leave the environment in a way that makes it look like we're not just disgusting pigs. Okay.
Sure,
So it's like I'm gonna even if there's food left over, I'm gonna compile the food onto one plate, which will be the top plate. Then I'm going to stack the plates, put the silverware in there, bring the glasses close by, and do a preliminary wipe down with our napkin,
sure.
just so there's not a bunch of crumbs and crap everywhere. And then everything's nice and in the middle, ready to go. I well, he told me that he thinks that's poor etiquette, and looked it up online and was like, yeah, here's an article. I mean, anybody could find an article on anything to support their opinion these days, but
Sure.
found an article from some, restaurant, whatever, I don't know, 30 years in the industry. And so wrote an article about how stacking your plates is poor restaurant etiquette, because it a couple of things. One, it might send the signal to the rest of the restaurant staff that you were not being properly waited on, so you had to do it yourself. And the second one is that it likely negatively impacts the processes that they already have in place for cleaning up. And so
I
now they have to deal with like your dishes all stacked and everything in a specific way, when that might not be how they operate in their systems. And so that
okay.
the best thing that you can do, according to this article that I completely disagree with and will not be following the advice of, the best thing you can do is sit back, relax, and let them clean up and enjoy your experience, because that's what you paid for. That
Yeah.
was the
So
advice of the article. What do you think?
okay, so I used to sell food and products and restaurant supplies to restaurants
Sure.
exclusively.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd never heard that. I've never heard any
Okay.
waitress complain about that. They literally have to stack all that crap to get it back there.
That's
They're
that
not carrying
right.
them one at a time. Okay,
Yeah,
so I could see maybe leaving it. I could see adopting that attitude if you're at like a nicer, fancier restaurant. They're like, hey,
sure.
leave it. Don't
If
like do
there's a
all that.
tablecloth on the table, I'm not wiping the table down,
Right.
right?
Okay. But like breakfast
Yeah.
place kind of a
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
like, and hey, if I can get all the silverware together, I know they're gonna take it back there, they're gonna scrape any food product off, and then
Mhm.
they're gonna 3 sink station wash
Yep.
these things, right? Like
Right.
they spray them with the thing, and then they're gonna rinse them, and then they're gonna sanitize them and then let them dry.
Yep.
Uh, and so I don't understand how that would mess them up.
And so
Because if
so
you've ever seen the back of a restaurant in the kitchen during rush time, and hey, correct me if you're listening and you work in
yeah,
food. I mean,
please.
I'm going by. I was on the sales side. I worked coffee bar, but that was totally different.
Right.
But having been back there during a rush, a lot of times they're not like they don't have time to clean all those plates right then and there, so they're all
They're
just getting
stacking them anyways.
shoved into a big sink, just and then they deal with them.
So,
So I can't imagine what process that is disrupting. I can't imagine what stacking plates, what
right.
process that is disrupting from the people who are going to stack those plates and literally carry them back there.
Funny thing, maybe, and kind of selfish. Even, even, even if even if it was proven to be true, if we did a poll of listeners involved in the service industry and found 98% of them said, I'm a jerk for stacking plates. Um, I wouldn't change my process, because the alternative, and anybody who's ever eaten at a restaurant can imagine this as soon as I say it. The alternative is you and I sitting down at a table across from each other in awkward silence as the waitress or server comes over and like is picking up all the plates herself. Like, oh, let me just get this out of your way here, and just like clink, 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 moving, shuffling. Oops, grab that, put that in. And we're just sitting there like,
You missed one over
yeah,
here,
like
lady.
so uncomfortable.
Excuse me, sir.
And so when somebody's like, when the article said just sit back, relax, and let them take care of it because that's what you paid for, and just enjoy your experience, that makes it unenjoyable to me. So if
Yeah.
it really is about the customer, I'm stacking. And that,
all right.
and, go for it.
Couple of things here.
Yeah.
Okay, one, let's be honest. Even we would do it opposite than that article says, because even if every food and restaurant person said, no, that's impolite, we would be, and rightly assuming, no, shut up. I'm better at figuring out operations than you are, right?
100%.
You're doing it wrong.
What you are doing. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what's more efficient.
Yeah, that's
here.
Right. That's
I'm
right.
a better operations manager than you probably
100%.
are.
100%.
So let me teach you a few things about how you should be doing this. The second thing is, it sounds like that article is written by a restaurant owner. Sure.
It has to be.
Is it right? Like, no, you paid for that. And you're like, yeah, but not very much of that money's going to that guy.
That's right. That's right.
They don't get health insurance. They get no benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get overworked. They get paid like a couple bucks an hour, and then they get all the tips. Like, what do you mean I paid for it? Like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right. Last question that they asked me to ask.
Okay.
I almost laughed in just reading this one. So I mean, I think you're already going to know the answer for me, and we'll see how you take it. But have you ever taken food to go at a restaurant because you felt bad leaving it on the table, knowing full well you weren't going to eat it later?
I can't say yes to that, only because I am so frugal when it comes to like eating out. Like,
Okay.
I have literally boxed up stuff that my kids have taken, like French fries. French fries don't reheat well, right? Have you ever leftover restaurant French fries?
But I mean, I've muscled some down. Don't get me wrong. I've
if you
double
microwave
fisted
those
some
things,
French fries.
Yeah, you're either eating them cold or you're microwaving them. But
they're
I will
getting
take
stuck
those
in your esophagus, trachea. Yeah.
John, I have literally taken those things home. And now my son's learned how to do this too. So like, I have, between a series of either light microwaving, pan frying, or toaster ovening, I have mastered like reheating restaurant leftover French fries, getting them crispy enough to be bearable. Okay. Because I am so cheap. I'm like, I paid for those French fries. We are eating these darn French fries. Everything on this table is going in a box. And even if I don't like it, if nobody else is going to eat it, I will eat that thing because I paid for it. So I have never taken anything home in a box without the intention of eating it. So
okay. So
that's where I'm at.
The example I was given, and let's just maybe see if you can identify with this example or not. The example I was given was they were at a restaurant and he wasn't really that hungry, but was kind of hungry. And they have really good nachos at this restaurant. And so he ordered them, but it was like this massive plate of nachos. And so when he was eating them and thought they were good, he maybe got halfway, right? And was like, I'm done with these. Waitress came up and was like, how is everything? And he said, oh, really good. And it was like almost this over enthusiastic of like, oh, aren't the nachos so good? Aren't they amazing? And he's like, yeah, no, they were fantastic. They are, aren't they? So do you want a box? And he's like, yeah, I'll take a box, knowing he's not going to eat them. He's like, the only reason I'm saying yes to a box right now is because I feel awkward saying no to a box. And so he took the box, put the nachos in, walked outside, threw them away in the garbage can outside. and he was like, have you ever done that? It's like, God, no. Like, are you kidding me? You think for a second that I couldn't just look at somebody and say, no, thanks? Like it doesn't even make
True.
sense. I
I
mean,
won't even take the free eggs that come with the meal.
that's right. Look, it's free. I've, I've, I've had that exact conversation where they show up and say, "Oh, how is everything? Oh, this was great. Great. Do you want a box? No. Oh, you didn't like your nachos? No, loved them. It's just too much, and I'm not going to eat it later. Go ahead and
Yeah,
take them." It's like, what is the problem with that, people?
sure,
Like, how
sure.
are you so swayed by the perception of somebody that you just met, will probably never see again, that's working with you for, 15 minutes of actual time out of their day? That's crazy to me. Like this weird public perception, or how what people think,
Yeah.
is nuts. And yeah, I don't know.
What I don't understand is why wouldn't you take the nachos home? You put them on a tray with a little layer of tinfoil, okay? And you're gonna slow cook those at like 300. Okay. You don't want to go too hot. Okay, because you want time for those chips to heat up and crisp back up. Nachos are hard to reheat and get them good, but it can be done, John. It absolutely can be done. Okay.
uh
You sprinkle a little bit more cheese on the top and
Perfect. Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
Uh, and maybe barbecue sauce if it's like we got a
Mm,
place in town called
mm,
Porky's, pulled
mhm,
pork
mhm,
nachos. Mwah!
mm.
Wonderful. First of all,
Um,
I've never taken any of those home, John, because when I go to Porky's, you know what I plan on doing? I plan on eating
Eating.
the pork nachos.
I plan on porking out. That's
Yes,
exactly what I plan on
I
doing.
plan ahead. If we're going to a restaurant, I'm like, I am not eating lunch because I want to be so hungry that I eat everything on my plate, and anything my wife doesn't finish, I'm going to eat that too. And if the kids leave something, I might just go after that.
You described food just a while ago similar to the way my dad does, and it's so aggravating to me. I ranted about this to Ashley the other day, because I was talking to my dad, and he's just smacking this, on the phone, and it's like, "Oh, you eating some lunch or dinner there?" And he goes, "Oh, oh man, this is let me tell you, I got myself a Marion Berry milkshake from Burgerville, USA, and with
USA.
that, yeah,
Not to
and
be
with
confused, not to be confused with
that's
the
right,
other
the
Burgerville
other
nationality
Burgerville."
chains.
Yeah, and it was like, "Oh, and I got myself a nice crisp, cheeseburger with a nice, quarter pound of beef and some Tillamook cheddar and some crisp bacon." It's like, "Just you got a bacon cheeseburger and a milkshake, Dad. Will you stop?" He's like, it's just going into the, "Oh, just cooked to perfection, fried lightly, but in a nice thin layer of oil." And it's like, God, just it's a bacon cheeseburger, man. Just say bacon
That,
cheeseburger. Where
that makes me think of that part in Joe Dirt where he's like, "It's Joe. My name's Joe
Dierte?
Dierte." He's like,
Yeah, that's it.
don't try to church it up. Your
I'm
name's Joe
trying to
Dirt."
church it up, boy. Yes.
Oh,
Oh man.
that's
All
funny.
right. Gosh, that was a long time, but that's hey, that was my week.
Yeah. So so speaking of like kind of being an a-hole, have you seen these things going around? They come in all different forms. So if there's somebody listening and we're Facebook friends and you posted one of these, this is not a call out of you. I've just seen a
Okay.
bunch of these going around. And
Gosh,
so
I want to know where you're going with this so bad.
I think I'm just going to bring it up, John. I'm going to bring
Okay.
it up.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Okay, there's one of those like photo challenge things. So the one that's going around right now is like the parent of seniors, like
Okay.
parent of a grad, like
Okay.
photo challenge. And these are those things that like I got nominated to post for the next 10 days to
Oh my
post a
God.
picture of and whatever the thing is, the flavor of
Yes.
the week. And it's always like this big long paragraph and it's no explanations, just 10 days, 10 photos, zero
I feel
explanation.
like you cherry picked this topic just for me.
Those
Because
things drive me nuts.
you knew. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So John, what are your feelings on that?
I hate them with the passion of 1,000 suns.
With the passion of 1,000 drunken sailors.
That's right.
It's a
Dude,
lot of
no,
passion.
years ago. I mean, this has been going on for years, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like I've been kept awake at night how angry I was about these years ago, and it was probably it was probably like cousins or somebody, you know, people I care about, don't get me wrong, that were posting it. But the biggest problem I have, and I know exactly what you're talking about, it's this paragraph of a I got nominated by this person, I'm now going to post. And I don't know about this, the senior you said, or the school kids. I've seen some where it was like just post a picture of myself, right? Like at my happiest. Like
Oh, sure, sure.
I got nominated. This is a self-love moment, and I got nominated to post 10 photos of myself that I think I look beautiful in. And so I'm going to nominate other people, and it's going to be 10 days. And so it always ends the same way, which is what sends me like I want to run my face through a windshield. It says it says 10 days, 10 nominees, or 10 days, 10 photos, 10 nominees, 0 explanations. And that's wrong. Like, you're wrong. It's 10 days, 10 photos, 10 nominees, and one giant paragraph of an explanation that's
10
repeated
times.
10 times, 10 days in a row. It's not 0
Exactly.
explanation when I
No.
just got done reading a paragraph of explanation, and I'm going to read another one tomorrow. That's one major explanation repeated 10 times.
10 days of explanations. I want to rewrite it. I want to do one and just rewrite it.
Dude,
10
we need to.
days of explanations.
Let's
10
do it.
photos, 10 days, 10 nominations.
10 nominees.
Doesn't make you special. That's the other thing, is people
One
act
giant.
like it's a
I
great
got
honor
selected.
to
I
get
got selected. I'd like to thank the
selected.
Academy for selecting me.
God, like, listen, the law of like exponents, the law of math.
Right. This is
like,
multiplying like crazy.
Yeah, if every person does this, every person who gets nominated took this seriously and nominates 10 other people, you know what the odds are of you getting nominated? Pretty darn good. You'll probably get nominated several times out of your friend group. I've been nominated for these things before, and I just ignore them.
This brings up a really good question that might be a
the
segue.
last one that I actually did was the ice bucket challenge one.
Okay. Okay.
Went and jumped in the river.
Yep. I did the same. It was the
did I call you? I think I called you out.
You called me out and I did it.
Okay.
That was amazing, by the way. I was sitting, lived in Silver Lake at the time, and it was 10 p.m. at night. And I'm sitting in the living room. Ashley was pregnant with Liam, and I got a notification on my phone. And I looked at it, and it was you doing this ice river challenge.
Yeah.
And it's 9:10 p.m. and I was like, Ashley, get your shoes on. We got to go.
Because I got tagged at like 8 p.m. and we're like, we're going to the river.
Yeah. Yeah. and so we jumped in the car, and like I had my response posted, and I remember having a lot of fun with it because I wanted to take an approach of showing that it doesn't affect you. Right. So I was like, sure, I'm going to show you how a man does it.
That's right. That's right.
And I like jumped into the water and let it just go over me, and then just got up and walked out like, nothing, freezing, my nuts off.
But nowhere in that post did it say 0 explanations. Right? Like,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I think we should do it.
I think we should either rewrite one of those, or we need to do the true 0 explanation challenge and just like post 10 random
just post photos. A photo. Just post
10
a
days
random
in a row.
Photo. That's what, but I mean, come on. That's what no explanation means. if somebody is not looking at the photo and saying, hey, honey, why do you think Nick posted that? You see that photo Nick posted? Why do you think he posted it? I don't know. I looked at it. I don't know why it's there. There was no explanation.
I love your depiction. I'd love to imagine a world where I have a friend who's like that interested in what I post. Hey, you know why he posted this?
Why is nobody telling us why he posted this?
Why he did that?
If you don't have to ask the question, do you know why you don't have to ask that question? It's because it was already explained to you. Okay.
So, okay. Where do you draw the line? Can you post a picture and just have the caption 0 explanation? Is that enough of a mockery Because
I mean, maybe.
I almost like the subtle tip of the hat to the snark. It's got to have a little snark, John.
The thing is, I think that like you said, the rule of exponents or whatever. The fact that so many people know about it, all you'd have to put at this point is zero explanation, and people would be like, "Ah, I know what he's doing. I know what he's
Yeah.
doing. I'm in. I'm in."
What if, okay, how about even better? Not even a picture, just the text. Zero explanation.
I think that's fantastic. Just,
I'm
like,
a,
okay.
I'm gonna post it right now.
That's right.
Let's do a little test here.
So while you're
I'm gonna throw
typing
this.
while you're typing that out, it made me think of something else.
Hashtag
When
zero.
when somebody tags you, and they don't even need to tag you, you could just be like scrolling through social media and see a post that one of your friends made, and dude, it could be one of your closest friends. I don't care. It could be your best friend in the world. If you see a post on their social media that they posted that says, "I'm sure not all of my friends are going to reshare this,"
Yes,
you're ignoring it, right?
100%.
10 times out of 10, 100% of the time, I've already
Even,
moved on.
and listen, if they try to do so, if it's religious,
Mm,
okay,
mm.
or patriotic, like don't you, those are those
Oh
two,
God,
like then I won't even like your post. Like I
no.
might, depending if it's like if it's some like, oh, raise the awareness for something, right? Like
Sure.
if it's for like a good thing, I might even just like it,
Yeah.
maybe even heart it, John. I might heart it.
Right. Right.
But if you try to manipulate people through some religious
Oh,
or patriotic guilt, I'm just like, you know what? Screw you.
or
And
the I know only my true friends. Well, I guess you're right then. Like
yeah,
because I'm not that.
or
That's
the ones where people are like going to be thinning out my friends list. I'm only going to be keeping the people who respond to this. Like,
uh-huh.
well, take
Okay.
luck, take luck. It was nice
Take
knowing
luck.
you.
Take luck. Here for it.
Take care of the luck. You too.
You too.
You take care of the luck in case you ever fly
Uh,
someday. Yeah, I hate all those things. Drive me nuts.
okay.
I probably used to be like, I'm sure somebody could dig through my social media and find where I've like posted those or engaged in those. Like this is something like social media was new in 2000. Like I
Yeah.
got Facebook in 2009.
Yeah.
So it's like, this was all pretty new. And these are
Mhm.
things that like over the last few years, I'm like, yeah, these are things I'm growing to hate. I
Yes.
absolutely despise
Mhm.
these things.
100%.
Okay. So to pivot a little bit here,
Okay.
some things that I do love about social media, John,
Okay.
is when people can is how quickly people can pile on
Sure.
other people, and that sometimes it is comical. So I'm going to
Oh,
share. I've grabbed a couple of these different things. I think I've got 3 of them here, and just kind of funny videos that I've seen. One of them will infuriate us, but I think
oh,
we
okay.
might have even mentioned it before. But that'll just kind of comical. So let me
Okay.
get
Okay.
bring up my share screen here,
All right.
and we'll kind of bring this baby in for a landing by laughing at some other people.
Okay,
Like
perfect.
which we've kind of been doing this whole time. But
I was gonna say what's new.
by the way, posted just now, hashtag zero explanation. So
Perfect.
we'll just a little social experiment here. Okay, can you see that screen there, John?
I can. I can. I
Okay.
see a suited man getting ready
That
to
yes.
throw a pitch.
So that man is one Mr. Conor McGregor.
Oh,
Uh
okay.
yeah. And so this was, gosh, I think this was, did you see the thing where he like got into it with Machine Gun Kelly at that like
Oh, yeah,
whatever
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
award show
It was
was?
like some sort of a red carpet deal or something, and there was some shoving. I
Yeah.
think I saw something about that. Yeah.
I think this was after that. So he goes to this Chicago Cubs game and he's asked to throw out a pitch, right? Which you would think would be pretty. I know people talk about the distance and on the mound that can mess with
I was
you.
gonna say this is gonna be really bad, I'm sure.
This is a guy who at one time was one of the pound for pound greats in fighting, right? Obviously, he's fallen off, the Mount Rushmore. I don't think he's one of the greatest of all times, but for that run that he had, like
Yeah.
pretty spectacular, right? Professional
I mean,
athlete.
I feel like it's because he accomplished his goal, you
Yeah,
know?
it's hard. There's
Like
the old
you're there.
there's an old quote from this boxer. I can't remember who it was. It might have been like Hagler or Hearns. It was somebody from like that era.
Yeah.
And he said like it's hard to get up and at 5 a.m. and go run when you're sleeping in silk sheets. Like basically saying like when you're
Yeah,
not hungry
yeah.
anymore, right?
Yeah, he's
Like,
made it. He
yeah.
achieved everything he was after, and so it's now it's like you're not gonna train as hard or fight as hard to keep it now that you
And
got it.
and arguably his whiskey company Proper 12, it got bought, it got sold.
Okay.
There's speculation on how much he got, how much, how that deal was
Well,
structured.
that's good
Looks like
because I'm
he's
sure he needed the cash.
yeah, well, arguably made more off of that than he's made fighting, including
Wow.
that 100 million that he made for
Wow.
fighting Floyd Mayweather. So
That's crazy.
dude's doing pretty well, bum
Yeah.
leg and all. It's
Yeah.
not still not a bad day to wake up in the McGregor household.
That's right.
Except you would think a professional athlete would probably be able to throw a ball in a straight line. John,
Okay.
here is the pitch
Let's
from
see it.
one Conor McGregor here. Here it comes. He's winding up and just a bit outside. hooks it into the stands.
Okay.
If you're watching at, or
Oh
if you're
my God.
listening to the podcast only, okay, McGregor went to throw it, and like Rick Wild Thing Vaughn from Major League before he got the glasses,
That's right.
freaking
That's right.
hooks it into the crowd. Not even close. Not even close.
Here's what I don't understand, and maybe they do, and I'm just being overly judgmental, which would be out of character for me. Like you're an athlete. I don't care if you're not, right? I don't care if I'm selected out of the blue. I get a call from the Cubs and they're like, "Hey, we want you to come throw opening pitch because of how good of a job you guys are doing on the podcast." Um, wouldn't you practice?
Right.
Wouldn't you just go get a baseball and say, "Hey, how far away is the pitcher?" Okay, I'm gonna go throw some until I get this figured out. And I'm saying anybody, but especially somebody like Conor McGregor, you are an athlete, right?
Yeah.
You might be a fighter. You're not a baseball player, but that I see you got something
Well,
else
John,
queued up here, dude. What is?
here's the thing. I don't think it's an issue of practice.
I think he
'Cause
misunderstood laces out the way he's holding that ball, right?
here's Conor McGregor at a Dallas Cowboys game.
No.
I think this was last year. Here's where to go. Okay, here we go. Come on. Here we go. He's winding up. Oh, drop
no.
step and
Oh.
chucks it. Literally. Okay, for this one
That probably went a good 12 yards.
this one straight up.
Straight.
This reference will only make sense if you're like a diehard MMA fan, but Conor McGregor got fined for throwing a Monster Energy can at Nate Diaz at one of their press conferences and was like throwing it into the crowd. And so that's what the caption on this one is referencing, is that apparently Conor McGregor's form may not work for throwing a football, but we can confirm that it works for launching a Monster Energy can at Nate Diaz. Apparently the only thing he can throw is a can into the crowd, although he was aiming at Nate Diaz. And I don't know where, I think he hit somebody in the crowd was the issue why he got fined from the athletic commission. So,
well, and maybe that's another problem as well is being self-aware or maybe this is an example of where I probably care too much about what other people think. But I'll ask this: can you throw a football?
Yeah,
can you throw it really well, like launch it like a quarterback? You know what I mean?
Not with the accuracy or the distance, but like I can go out and my son can practice some like routes and I can throw it and I can get it.
Like
to him. I'm no Russell Wilson.
I know that I'm not the best thrower of a football. So if I'm out somewhere, right? If I'm walking by and a football lands by my feet and there's somebody and they're, 40 yards out and they're like, "Hey, throw it." I'm not.
Oh.
I'm going to take it to
40
you. 40
yards.
Like,
I'm basically, we're playing fires up at that point.
I'm going to like jog out because I'm a nice guy and I want to get you your ball back, but I'm going to jog over and be like, "Here you go." There's your ball. Because I'm not going to make an ass of myself. Right.
Sure.
I'm going to be like, "Okay, yeah, run, go long." And then I look like Conor McGregor. So at a certain point, like, don't these guys know that? Like, you have to know where you're inefficient or ineffective And so why put yourself in that spot where you're like, yeah, here you go, man, and you just completely just chunk it.
So apparently this isn't exclusive to Conor McGregor, because here's the video of 50 Cent back when he did this,
Oh, I feel like I've seen this one before.
doing the exact same thing. And they did it side by side.
Hung.
Conor hooks it, hooks it right. Fitty hooks it, like, just it flies out of his hand.
Just shanked. I feel like almost like it just slipped. I don't know, man. The trajectory of the ball as it came out of 50 Cent's hand, it looks
It
so
looks weird.
awkward. Yeah, it's like it
I
just
think maybe it's the crowd, but I think these guys are trying to throw it too hard. I think that's the thing. And so maybe they are doing like a warm up and they're like, all right, that's good. And then the crowd, and they do the big announcer, Conor
and they're like,
McGregor.
"Ugh," and they just want to burn one in there.
And then
Yeah.
you just whoop just a bit outside.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Okay, so here's another one. John, you're a big video gamer, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay.
I definitely used to be.
When did you ever celebrate, like, when you get a big win, you get something, you get pretty excited when, or upset if you lose? Like, were you ever demonstrative that way?
No.
Pretty
No,
even kill?
yeah, in fact, that made me think of a, do you remember, a friend of ours, Mitchell? Is that am I s
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
went to his house and we
Yeah.
played Plants vs.
Plants vs.
Zombies. Do
Zombies.
you remember that?
Yeah.
He made a joke because, Nick and I were on a team and we were
I had
playing on
never
their
played,
neither of
and
us
I
had.
hadn't
I
played
hadn't
I
either.
haven't played a video game in 10 years.
I had, but we had never played this game. We're on his accounts, him and his kid's account, and he's letting us play on like their big screen, and we're just having fun and playing. And I actually placed first and got I unlocked an achievement on their account
Oh.
for one of the matches we were on. It popped up as an achievement and he was like, dude, nobody's gotten that. And I remember Mitch making the joke of like, it's so weird. I've like seen the difference of somebody who is so demonstrative but not doing very well, and some like next to somebody who is so quiet and reserved and is
Yeah.
like absolutely destroying.
Yeah.
We were on the same team. It's not like we were fighting against each other, but it was just that funny, like, I'm pretty even keel, I
I'm
get
like
frustrated, but I don't, if I lose, I lose, and you
and
try
I'm
again
all
next
the way
time.
up, just like, chili bean bomb suckers!
That's right. Yeah. And just like accomplishing very little,
Yeah.
but it's just, and so, yeah, no, I tend to be pretty even keeled in my celebrations. Maybe a friendly fist bump every now and then if I feel like I've done something that warrants it.
Sure. Well, here's a video of a kid celebrating a big win. It looks like a competitive gaming event. I don't know enough about this stuff to know like what
Okay.
this is. He's
Okay.
clearly excited, but he seems to dislocate his arm in his celebration. And so let's if you're only lining, okay, you got to go watch this.
Yeah,
This one was on Barstool Sports is where I found this. So you can go
Okay.
find Barstool on like Instagram, or just watch our YouTube video, like and subscribe and comment, and tell
I'm
all
just
your
curious
friends.
how you dislocate your arm celebrating.
Here's how I'll keep the sound off because I don't have volume control over this. It'll be really annoying.
Okay.
But here we go. Okay, so
Okay, here he is.
this kid, he's up, he's
Boom, he
excited,
won.
big win. Watch his left arm. Here he goes.
Oh,
He's down.
Oh.
Now he's writhing in pain on the ground. Dislocated his arm. He's hurt, but he's still amped up. The crowd is still cheering, and he's gonna
look at the guy he just beats back there, cracking his knuckles, standing up. The guy's just trying to give him a fist bump.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, good job. You threw your shoulder out there. Yeah, I'm an asshole. Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna be a virgin forever.
Oh,
Chicks aren't into me. Kid just totally, like, clearly this kid spends all of his time playing video games and doesn't do any exercise. If that celebration is going to dislocate his arm, and he's just down, but then he gets back up and he starts like fist pumping again. Like he just can't help it.
Oh man.
He rebounds like the Undertaker, John, sitting up. Boom, no cells.
Oh
now
yeah,
he's back
and
up,
back at it.
But clearly still.
Look at this though. He did not even once like give a fist bump, shake a hand.
Nope.
Just an absolute douche canoe. I mean, look.
So,
Yeah. Ow, 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 ow. Dang
Mom,
it. Golly,
Mom,
shucks.
do you have my sling? Mom, can you get my
Mom,
sling?
Mom.
Mom, go in the basement where my room is
Oh,
and get my sling. I'm 25 years old.
oh man. Yeah, that's, you know what? I'm glad he hurt himself now. Look at
I
this.
was too.
This guy's being nice, man. He was like waiting to do the hey, good job. He's probably saying, all right, hey, nope. Okay, the guy's just walking away, just still okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna sit back down. Guy's just a absolute, yeah.
And I don't
No,
know, like, I don't know how big of an event that was. There's probably some money, like, probably
yeah,
some
I'm sure,
money at
dude.
stake
We're
there.
probably talking literally tens of people in that room. Like,
And this
so
kid's going to spend it all on surgery
that's
because he couldn't be bothered to do a freaking
no,
push up once in a while.
you know darn well he's on his parents' insurance. That kid's
That's
got nothing to worry about.
thanks, Obama. I got till
Yeah.
I'm 26 now.
Uh, and right, I mean, come on, dude. Like, you want a tournament, but you're so out of shape and uncoordinated that you completely destroyed your shoulder by doing a fist bump.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we take your winnings and focus on some other priorities for the next little while.
Okay, this one's going to get you super annoyed.
Okay,
Okay, we've got a few
and
minutes left.
we're ending on this one.
We're going to end on this one. I'm going to get you all worked up and lathered and then send you out to be around your family. That's what I'm
Okay,
going to do.
that's perfect. Perfect. I go out, Daddy,
Yeah.
shut up.
Okay. I can't remember if we mentioned this one in the past, but I think you've seen this one, but let's do a live play-by-play. So this is the lady.
We do we have volume for this?
We should have volume for
Okay,
this one.
okay.
This is the lady
Yeah,
who
yeah. I already know where you're going with this.
so
Yeah.
she's crying. There's something going on. She's a YouTuber. Her
Their
son is
dog.
crying.
They found out that their dog had either their dog had just died, or they found out from the vet that they had to put the dog down, and the dog
Okay.
wasn't going to make it.
Okay. And so this is what she's doing. This is the classic like Insta person
Oh God, this pisses
thing
me
that
off.
drives us nuts
Yeah,
about
just
that stuff.
Play it.
Can't wait for her to bring her home and be part of our family. Put your head right here. Almost pray for us. We appreciate it. I love you guys. Bye. Come here. Come closer for the video. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Put your head right here. Come closer. Closer down. Put your head down here. Act like you're crying really quick. I am crying. Go like this. No, Mom, I'm actually seriously crying. No, I know, but go like this for the video. Go like this. Put one hand up. Go like this. No, go like this. Put your hand like this. But let them see your mouth. Let them see your mouth. No, Mom, I'm actually crying. Look at me. 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 I'm actually crying. I know. Look at me. Look at me.
That pretty much sums it up, right? Look
Oh
at me.
God,
Look at me.
I'm getting so. These people exist, man, and it's not even just that they exist. This is the type of behavior that
they can
we
make a living.
encourage.
Yeah, they can make a living doing that.
This is what we encourage as a society. This is the type of behavior that we reward. It's so unbelievably disgusting to me that oh God, seriously, like I mean I was super, I mean I'm still angry looking at it now, but the first time I saw it, like I felt sick that this boy little man is having to deal with a parent like that, and her reaction to all of the backlash, which thank God there was, but all the backlash was to just not have him in videos anymore. That's the fix. Is, you know what, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna, you know, I'm not going to have my son in the videos, and yeah, because I should. And it's like, no, you're just missing it. You're just missing it, you know.
It was uploaded, apparently. It was uploaded by accident. She forgot to edit that part out.
That's the accident. It wasn't that you uploaded it by accident.
No, yeah. The accident was forgot to edit that part out and then deleted it. But the internet is undefeated. If you put anything out there, like it's there forever, right?
Yeah. They got it.
And
they got it.
And so then that was just just so crazy. I've heard stories, and I've never known, obviously if they're true or not, whatever, wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me. But I've heard stories of like the Instagram moms who like put their kid in the swimwear in matching swimsuits as them, like put their mom and daughter, go to the pool, set up the blankets, do the little tripod, do photos like, oh, beach day, pool day with my kid, and then pack everything up and leave as the kid's crying because they wanted to swim. And some like supposedly other people who were there and saw this are like, I can't believe this mom just blah, blah, blah. And it's one of those Instagram moms. And so like, there's these people out there that do stuff like that.
Yes.
Just for the video, or like that one.
The
She just wanted the
clout.
thumbnail.
Everybody like, this is the problem with us living in a world where people feel that their worth is measured based on strangers giving a thumbs up on the internet.
Yeah.
Right. So now they're doing anything they need to elicit that response that gives them the hit of dopamine. And they don't realize that they're abusing, neglecting, and destroying real lives around them in the process. And it's just disgusting, man.
And I gotta say, I'm just appalled at people who like appeal to other people for their approval. That being said, if you could just like and subscribe our YouTube channel, okay, just click those buttons.
Click the buttons. Click the thumbs up. Click the bell. It really helps.
These freaking people that are just so driven by your approval.
Right.
Dude, if you could just like our Facebook page, facebook.com, Jon and Nick Show, or maybe, just hop over to Insta, okay? Instagram.com/Jon and Nick Show. That together, by you following our show, we could combat these kinds of attention whores.
Right.
These people that just have to be liked. So again, YouTube, like and subscribe,
dude. I saw
doesn't it feel a little weird like we're calling these people out for that? Like,
no, because it doesn't. I will always justify my own behavior, Nick.
That's right.
It doesn't, because I think that the people that listen to us are ones that enjoy our thought process, whatever, the time that we hang out and joke around. They're like-minded, and I don't ever check to see how many likes we have. I don't check to see how many followers we have. We're doing what we're doing because we enjoy it, and if other people enjoy that, awesome. Like, hang out with us. If not, that's okay. Like, our worth isn't hung up on the success or failure of this, right? Or any internet adventure that we're partaking. Dude, I saw a family, not to do like an extreme take, but it was pretty messed up. This, I want to say it was maybe a year ago or so, and I read an article about it. I love it. Just keep spamming it. Keep spamming it.
100% agree, John.
This family, this is messed up. They adopted a kid on the autism spectrum, and very, very like rough shape, like nonverbal autism. This child was dealing with, or is.
Yeah, I feel like
dealing with.
Joke decal off while you're like getting.
I know. Wow. I mean, a little decorum, please. Dude, so they started a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel was around us, like, as a family adopting this child, and like, okay, first day home and taken care of, and kid you not, they had so many followers, so many donations, and so much ad revenue that was starting to be generated from this adoption of this child who had these really specific and intensive special needs. They like became millionaires, and slowly started to do videos with the rest of their family, which is like 3 of their own kids. I'm probably off on the numbers. I don't care. It's irrelevant. But with their own kids, the parents' relationship, all this, you started to see less of this kid. Then you didn't see the kid at all. And when viewers started asking about, like, hey, where is, this boy, found out that they actually gave him up, like gave him back, and was like, we need to find somebody else to take care of him because we can't. And it's like, but you guys just monetized. You monetized his life and his
Oh,
struggles and
wow.
used it to develop a following and made millions, and then
Yeah.
you just gave him away. You taught
Yeah.
you like, what in the world? And
What is wrong with you?
yeah, dude, that was the first time, and this lady made me think of that. But that was the real first time I saw a story like that where it was just like, what are we doing as a culture, man, to chase those likes and like acceptance from complete strangers on the internet. It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
like and
so
subscribe.
yeah, with that,
Uh,
like please Facebook.com/ John and Nick
Jon
Show.
and Nick Show. Instagram.com, Jon and Nick Show. Uh, again, the dichotomy, right? Cleat him in the throat.
Yeah,
Cleat
how
him in
could
the
you?
throat. I don't know why. I don't know why we're like this. I'm just
I'm
glad that we found each other.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. I think we should leave there. John's
All
going to
right.
go be irritated around his family now.
That's right. I'm gonna go be a terrible father.
And teach his son some mildly inappropriate jokes.
That's right.
Like like a good
What else
father
are they
should.
good for?
That's
You know?
all right. For the Jon and Nick Show, I'm Nick,
I'm John.
and we'll see you next time.